Okay, I'll just give you straight to the highlights pretty much here because I'll just try as much as possible to breeze through it. And yeah, I was a family of six. My dad and my mom had six kids. I was the first child, and not we're very comfortable. My dad was very, very, very okay doing exactly what he needed to do to provide for his family. And but he was a traditional, Igbo man, meaning that he couldn't really empower my mom. So my mom was a typical housewife that needed to cook, would come and ask money, needed to, clean, come and ask money, needed to buy clothes, come and ask money, needed to pay the school fees. So he wanted her to always come back to ask for, financial. He needed that financial, you know, mancho thing above her. And when he got assassinated, um, he didn't see that coming. And my mom now, knowing what she does best, going to ask, couldn't go to ask anymore. It was really, really sad and really, really, shocking to see a woman that, beautiful as she is, losing her husband at the age of 31. Yeah, I think 31, 32. And having six kids, especially we were going to one of the best schools. At that point of time, our school fee was so high. Way of living was very, very high. We went on holidays when we wanted to. So it was kind of really sad seeing all that, in the pause and going down. And not only that, my dad's friends, which I'm sure he didn't have much of, but the few ones he had, turned their back against us. Family turned their backs against us. And my dad's lawyer, swindled us in the biggest way possible and ran away. So, and then we couldn't really access it because I was the sole signatory to the accounts. And I was below 18, and you needed to be above 18 for you to access it. So you have some certain, court orders and signatures you have to do. Then unfortunately, by the time they put me to be able to access it, he said it was going to take 6 months to a year to process it. And he kept on going. But eventually, I think a mom's friend discovered what was going on and told her that it doesn't take this long. It takes only a week or 2 weeks. And by the time we realized this, the guy has already japa, and it was one of the most, saddest part. The mom was there asking questions, trying to get information what's going on. Then threats started coming, letters started coming. They came to kidnap me in school. I got lucky, and they held my mom at gunpoint several times, tried to shoot. The gun jammed, it couldn't really work. So things like this really, really was messed up, and it just made my mom realize, okay, life is much better than wealth because you can keep chasing what my dad, lost or what he had, and in that aspect, she could end up dying. Then the remaining six children, who's going to look after them? Or she ends up losing one of the kids. So she decided to seek asylum in a different continent, and which we left, to a different continent. I started a new life over there. But I went to England because of a stupid love story. Some the story for another day. But yeah, so that's pretty much what happened. And due to that, we became very close-minded and very protective of ourselves, and we love each other so much. So I love my siblings so much to default. No matter what they do, I would always love them. So we became more or less like one, and we have to look after for our mom. So because of that, I saw life in a different manner and different aspects. So I got to understand that this life, today you can be here, tomorrow you cannot be here. Nothing is guaranteed for you. You can have 1 billion, you can have 1 million, you can have 8,000. When you die, it's still the same ground. Everyone is going to go in there. And no one knows what's going to happen. So because of this, I got to realize more. I can't really, really like force certain things. I just have to be myself and just enjoy life as it comes because you can't put something that is not there. God is God. He knows the answer and He has the answer and the questions to everything. We are just doing what we need to do. So, and I was like, all right, cool. If that's the case, I was brought up in love, so I just be love and just be the best version of myself I can be. When it's time to have a good time, I have a good time to the max, to the top of it. And when it's time to hustle, make money, I definitely go on most of hustle. I do hustle, as I know a lot of people think white money is the grand hustler. He has done all kinds of business. Because I don't really blow trumpet. If I tell you all the things I don't do to this life, from my days in London to Birmingham to back in Nigeria, to Lagos, to Imo, to Anambra, to back to Abuja. I don't hustle, I don't sell things. I've sold all sorts of things. It's just why I got lucky is that I have some, luckily for me, I had some friends that are well off and they're financially strong. And they just looked at me and, I don't know, they just believed in me and they didn't see me as a charity case or saw me as a nobody. They just believed in me and thought, this guy is our guy. So due to that, I ended up, having some particular group of friends and, being in some certain circle that would also, give me vision and made me, dream bigger of my certain dreams. That's just pretty much what happened. So yeah, we hustled. We did a lot of things to make sure we went by. I could remember vividly. There's a particular day when I was in England. I didn't have cash and I couldn't pay for my electricity bill. It was so cold. Like, when it was winter, it's freezing, right? I bought water, water pad. I filled it with water, hot water. I bought like 10, 12. So what I did was I laid down so it will warm. Women use it to put for their pain when they're in their period. So I bought like 12 of it. It was like 20 pence or 30 pence. I went to £1 shop and I bought like 12 of it. I like 3-4 pounds. I bought everything. So I put hot water in everything, then laid it around me as I covered myself and went to bed. That's how I kept myself warm when I couldn't pay for my electricity bill because of how I couldn't, manage to get some funds. So I remember those nights. I remember them nights I only had, Frosties, Kellogg's, like Frosties. I had them morning, afternoon, night for like a good 2 weeks. Yeah, I remember the periods are like that. I remember sometimes it was noodles. I had noodles every single day for a period of some certain times. I remember that sometimes it's just that I don't really like to talk about it a lot of times, but I have been around and I've seen things that sometimes I couldn't manage to transport myself to some certain place. I would jump train, just to get to some certain place. But I had people that looked after me, like my cousin Ugo B. I knew worst comes to worst, he'll send me £100 or £200. I knew I had some, family that if I called them last, they would still send something to just keep my body going. But so I was still loved at the end of the day. And so yeah, that's how it's been so far. And we make it, we lose it, we make it, we lose it. But I just knew that at the end of the day, I knew I was going to get to a certain place in my life. People think Big Brother is the pillar of like, you can be Big Brother and yeah, you've arrived. No. Big Brother, without Big Brother or Big Brother, I was going to make it. But it's just that now Big Brother gives me a bigger platform. And that's on God. I was going to make it that way. But it just gives me a bigger platform and makes it the time faster to do it. Trust me, I have a lot of things in mind and a lot of things in place that eventually, 5 years from now, you're going to forget that Big Brother literally gave me this platform, because what I would have done will be way, way, way bigger than Big Brother, whatever it is. So yeah, that's it. Okay, so I needed to tell my story, meaning that I needed to tell the world who I am. My story is me. I am my story. I'm not talking about my dad's story. I'm not talking about my mom's story. I'm not talking about my sibling's story. I had to ask permission from them to see if they would even permit me to say such things. And they were like, Ross, it's your story. Do what you want to do. So I'm speaking from how I felt, what happened to me. So me as a whole, this is my story. This is what happened to me. I was robbed. I was taking my father away from me at an early stage. Boo-hoo. A lot of people's fathers taken away from them from early stage. And they still amount to something? Yeah, perhaps they do. And it's good. But I wasn't prepared. I'm not talking about you. I don't care about you. Perhaps I do, but I don't want to rub off my own story and your story. I wasn't prepared. My mother wasn't prepared. My mom was a housewife. We had 6 kids. We're going to one of the best schools. So that happening to us really, really shifted a lot of things in my mind. It's a good thing because, well, I got to understand human beings. You can't really trust human beings. We are the best species God has ever created on this earth. And I give kudos to us. But fun fact, we can't be trusted. We are the ones that cause hate. We are the ones that kill each other. We are the ones that cause so much havoc on earth. We didn't create Earth. We were brought on Earth. And yet we take big disadvantage of it by doing so much shit, pollution here and there, global warming here and there, causing war, killing ourselves, fighting ourselves. So yeah, we are evil to an extent, but we are good. We are love at the end of the day. So we do a lot of things to ourselves just to make ourselves feel better or try to take advantage of some situation to become better. Well, sometimes it's selfish, sometimes it's personal. I don't know. I don't know what human beings do to make themselves feel better. So me, these things are what made me who I am. I could be, okay. When I lost my dad, I went mad. I couldn't come home. I don't really come home. My mom was sad. She was crying every single day. I'll go out. I'll never come back. There's a time that I came into the house. I saw so much strangers because my mom, as I said, my mom was brought up in love and she tried to bring us in love. So I'll see all these women, pastors, pastresses in the house. As I said, my mom was an evangelist. So I'll see all these strange people in the house. I was like, when my dad was alive, what would tie any human being to be in this house? My cousins or anybody can come. Evening, you don't work out, the gates are closed, you can't sleep over, nobody sleeps over. He was so covered, like just him, his wife, and his kids. Then maybe at the boys' quarter, that's when you have one boys, all these boys like house help or boys for goods to go to the market when it's time for market days. So all of a sudden, I'm seeing strangers sleeping in the house, sharing the same room, sharing the same accommodation space with us. And I didn't understand all those because that's not how I was brought up. But I started seeing all those things. So one day I got so mad, I brought up a gun. I chased almost everybody out of the house. My mom was not even around. She was traveling to labor or something. They had to call her. And she was so sad. She came back and started crying and told me, what am I doing? So I really was messed up because things I didn't understand were happening. And I had to adjust. Do you understand? A kid, I had to grow up fast. So I need to understand that this is now the new norm. I got to understand that these people care about us. They want the best for us. I didn't know that at that point of time. I was thinking my dad is dead. All my dad's friends. Because my dad was so pompous. Let me tell you, my dad was a pompous man that he would never walk out of the gate with his leg. He believes he's a big man. Well, fun fact, he was. But he's so big and pompous that he would never walk out of the gate with his leg. He would always drive. But there was a guy that was his neighbor on the same street. They were friends. He would walk to his house. That was the first time I saw my dad walk on the street. Then, if you go to that area, everybody knew him. That would go, if you want to say, if you're Maza, you want to go this area and you want to take Okada, say Ezego House or Ezego Complex, Ezego Street. Because we're very popular everywhere in that area. So just say Ezego, all the Okada, everybody knew there. So my dad would never walk because, of course, as I said, he was pompous and he was scared for his life. So he would definitely walk with his leg to a couple of houses. Were like 5, 6, 7 houses down the road to his house. So that's the only man I could see my dad walk to his house, and they walk back to his own house. And so seeing such thing, I knew that, okay, this is not a man. This, when you mean this is not your guy, you see your papa, they do something with another man, you will believe, say, this is not my papa guy. And just like that, this guy where you believe, say, your papa guy, turned around because he's no longer around. That kind of thing messes with your mind, man. You get to understand, you can't really hold anybody to their words. You can't. The people talk, but you don't know what they feel inside in their heart. Their heart can be different from what they talk or what they act. So things like this really, really like made me understand life in a different aspect. So I got to understand that more. At the end of the day, you must do what you got to do to survive. You do you, I'ma do me. And if we cross paths and it shows that we align, fair and square. If not,
we sure hope you enjoyed this video. For more entertaining video content such as behind the scenes of music videos and movies, music concerts, premieres, interviews, and exclusive gists, subscribe now to our YouTube channel GoldmyneTV and be unleashed into a world of super excitement.